Welcome back everybody to another day in the arena. It's Untapped Your Go, and today we are playing Obliterator Fight Club. So this deck is built around a Phyrexian Obliterator, which is a 4 black 5/5 trample. Whenever a source deals damage to it, that permanent's controller sacrifices that many permanents. So this card is just absolutely bananas. Like, you can just imagine this can block like a 10/10 and your opponent has to sacrifice 10 things. It's absolutely absurd. And then to spice it up, we have Primal Might. So it's 1 green and X for sorcery. Target creature you control gets +X/+X until end of turn, and then fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So we get to force the interaction with the Phyrexian Obliterator, which is the only green card in the entire deck. This is actually a list that I found online, and I tweaked it up a little bit for the current standard, or for the current historic format, since this is a few weeks, maybe even like a month or two old. I can't remember the source, unfortunately, to give credit to the original creator of the deck, but shout out to whoever that person was. Anyway, let's get into the deck. So we have Obliterator, we have Primal Might for the fight, and then we also have 4 copies of Gutter Bones to have the early game interaction, or early game aggression, I'm sorry, be able to attack for 2 every turn and bring it back. We have 4 copies of Knight of the Ebon Legion. Since we're in mono black, this is like, these are like the premier 1-drops with Thoughtseize. All 4 of these are like just so good in this package. Thoughtseize to rip out your opponent's best cards, Knight of the Ebon Legion to grow and just, threat your opponent with the Death Touch activation and the +3/+3, and that is our 1-drops. In the 2-drop slot, we have 4 scrap heap scroungers to be able to bring them back from our graveyard. They can't block, but it's just a recursive threat that your opponent has a hard time dealing with. 2 copies of Skyclave Shade for virtually the same thing. It's nowhere close to being as good as Scrap Heap Scrounger, but it's good to have multiple, like up to 6 copies of a creature that can bring itself back. Then we have 2 copies of Temerit, Chosen from Death. This is a double black. Its devotion is equal to your devotion of black, and it's got 2 power. You can pay 2 mana and exile the 2 target cards from graveyards. You gain 1 life for each creature card exiled this way. So this is just really good because, like, its toughness is absolutely absurd most of the time, and then it's just main deck graveyard hate. So we get to like nuke our opponent's graveyards, exile their Uros, exile their reanimation targets and stuff. Then we have 2 copies of Murderous Rider to be able to destroy our opponent's creatures or planeswalkers. 2 copies of Nighthawk Scavenger. This is a 3 mana 1/3 that gets more power equal to the number of card types among cards in your opponent's graveyards, and it has Flying, Death Touch, and Lifelink. This card is a powerhouse. Then we have 4 copies of Spawn of Mayhem. This is a 4 mana 4/4 with Flying and Trample, and you can Spectacle it for 3 mana. At the beginning of your upkeep, Spawn of Mayhem deals 1 damage to each player, and then if you have 10 or less life, put a 1/1 counter on Spawn of Mayhem. So we get to get this out very early, and like, we have so many threats in this deck that the Phyrexian Obliterator package is just a bonus. Like, you don't even really need to rely on it. Primal Might, just pumping your Knight of the Ebon Legion is really good. Pumping your Nighthawk Scavenger to gain a bunch of life is really good. Same thing with Murderous Rider. And then Spawn of Mayhem having Trample and Flying, just being able to pump this or the Obliterator and just getting in for a bunch of combat damage is usually good enough. And then in the mana base, all 4 Castle Locthwain, 10 Swamps, 2 Blooming Marsh, 4 Overgrown Tombs, 4 Woodland Cemeteries. Everything comes in untapped for the most part, except the Blooming Marshes past 3 or more lands, or 4 or more lands, I'm sorry. And then in the sideboard, 2 copies of Fatal Push against early aggression, 3 copies of Witch's Vengeance against heavy creature tribal decks like goblins, elves, things like that. Reclamation Sages against artifacts and enchantments. 4 copies of Leyline of the Void to exile your opponent's graveyard, and 2 copies of Nissa of Shadowed Boughs. I'm actually just testing this, to be honest. I was really trying to figure out a way that I can recur the Phyrexian Obliterator if you're going up against a matchup that has a lot of removal, and Nissa just seemed to be the best. I tried Back for More, but it was too much. Like, it just cost too much. And this honestly is better because it puts some aggression on the board, and just it does some things. I'm just testing it, but feel free to experiment with the cards in the sideboard and the main board. I'll leave a link down below to the Ether Hub if you would like to try the deck out in the arena. Leave a like on today's video if you enjoyed this deck's gameplay and the deck tech, and hit the subscribe and the bell if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And let's take this into the arena with Phyrexian Obliterator and see how we do. We're on the play in game 1 up against Mom Dad, and pretty excited to see what Mom Dad is bringing to the table. Alright, so let's lead off with the Gutter Bones first. Uh-oh. Okay, I was really hoping our opponent didn't have a Thoughtseize. We're gonna Thoughtseize our opponent, though. What the heck? Well, we're definitely taking the Wild Growth Walker, but that's Good to know that our opponent has all those things. They're on the Explore package. Daylight Ranger, Merfolk Range-Walker. Guy has Blessing to shuffle their graveyard. So this is like a combo, probably. Yeah, there's the Bolus Citadel. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we just gotta get in there. We're forcing the activation, it's fine. Castle locked him in. Cool. Thoughtseize off the top. You love to see it. Well, we're gonna go... I could try to, like, pinch our opponent on mana a little bit, but I feel like taking the Citadel is probably the safer play. Yeah, I think we just take the Citadel. And then we just get in there with the aggression. Alright, so they didn't draw a land, otherwise they would have played the Jade Light Ranger. And no land off the top. What a shame. Let's get in and see what our opponent decides to do. Okay. We won't pump. Maybe we might as well play this out tapped too. Could have saved it for the Skyclave Shade, but it's fine. Still no land for our opponent. They're having a time. Kind of feel bad. Alright, well, we're definitely gonna pump. Opponent's down to 1. Good game, Mom, Dad. Sorry about that. Going into game 2 up against Jeremy. I haven't played against my friend Jeremy in a long time, so this will be fun. Shout out to Jeremy, everybody. You know, I never noticed that yellow glow in his like little spike ball hand. It's like molten lava or something. Super cool. Self for the savior for our opponent. Alright. Play our gutter bones. Turn 2 Daxos would be really bad for us. Then we can't attack and spectacle in our spawn of mayhem. Johnny's Pridemate's not bad either. I'm glad our opponent's attacking with the Selfless Savior, because they're not going to block with the Pridemate. This is going to be hilarious. If we draw into our Primal Might and have our Obliterator fight a giant Pridemate. Sweet butter. Opponent takes it. Play the Knight of the Ebon Legion. And pass it up. Well, I'm okay with our opponent spending their turn to Glass Casket. It saves us the turn to be able to spawn a Mayhem. Well, let's spectacle out this demon. See what our opponent has to do about it. And then maybe if we can draw out a Banishing Light or something, then we can follow up with the Obliterator, and we'll be in some pretty good shape. Our opponent hasn't gained any life yet, so their Johnny's Pridemate's just the bear. There's the Banishing Light. I'm okay with that. Opponent's running out of cards, so Ooh. Nighthawk Scavenger's not bad either. I think I'm still gonna run out the Obliterator. Alright, there's another Banishing Light. That's a bummer. Okay, double Pride Mate. Well, I mean, I don't mind. I'll honestly just go ahead and attack again. I don't think our opponent's gonna block. Oh, Lewis for our opponent's pretty good. Nothing in their graveyard though, so nothing to worry about there. Well, he's gonna have to sacrifice 2 permanents. Okay. That's fine. I'll save up the Gutter Bones as a blocker this time. And I'm just going to attack with the Obliterator and then cast the other Obliterator. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we'll just hold up the castle. We don't really need it. Well, Timerit's not bad, but we're just going to go ahead and all attack here. So, I mean, they have to block with everything to avoid a lethal. And then that'd be 5 damage to our Obliterators. Yeah, you're just dead. You had to block. Good game. Alright, going into game 3 against Casey Soup. Playing a Gigantha deck. A Gigantha companion deck. So it's probably like a Jund thing maybe, or like green blue. It could be a bunch of things. It could even just be colorless and they're just playing it just because. Yeah, we'll keep this. This is a really solid hand. I'm gonna lead off with the Gutter Bones. Ooh, we love to see it. The Spectacle. So we'll go ahead, play the Overgrown Tomb, the Knight of the Ebon Legion, and get in for 2. The next turn we get the Spawn of Mayhem. We're on a very aggressive start here. Okay, so it's Gigantha Sanctums, or Shrines. Well, we're going to go ahead and pump. Or, not pump. Go ahead and attack Spectacle out the Spawn of Mayhem. And we get to apply a lot of damage before our opponent board wipes if they have one. Banning the 2. So they can board wipe this next turn probably. So I think honestly all we do is just attack and pump. Don't even worry about any of this other stuff because opponent's already down to 3. They have to have a board wipe here or they just lose. That's one down. Okay. I mean, that works. The Primal Might, I think... If we draw a land, Primal Might gets us. Okay, so we didn't draw the land. So we'll just go ahead and attack for 2. I guess we play the Nighthawk Scavenger. Alright, there's the blue shrine. And Paradise Druid. And there's still just... I think we still get there. Submit 0. Attack for 6. Good game. Well, I really like this hand. It's probably going to bite me, but I like it. Going into our 4th game up against Mancho, we're going to start off with the Thoughtseize. Classic. Well, I think first thing we take is the Maddening Cacophony, and then we'll take the Shatter or the Wrath of God next. Scrap Heap's a good draw for us. A land would be nice though. Not a land. Let's go ahead and get in for 3. Skyclave Shade again. Or we'll play our Skyclave Shade, I mean. And there's the Teferi's Tutelage. So we definitely need a Thoughtseize next turn. Thank you, opponent. So... yeah, I'll go ahead and play that tapped on the Thoughtseize. So I can take the other Teferi's Tutelage, but I think we have to take the Wrath of God here. Apply as much damage as we possibly can. Alright, there's the other Tutelage. So we are drawing. We are milling. We're down to 42. So 6, 7, 8, potentially. Well. Go ahead and return that to our hands. And play it. Now our opponent has to have a board wipe. I mean, that helps. Alright, they got us down to 25 cards. And there's 24. So it'd be 3, 6, 7, 8. Submit 0, Primal Might, full attack. Good game. Alright, going into our 5th and final game against Christian Matos Sobral. And I believe that this hand is... it's not the most aggressive, but it's not the worst hand. I mean, 4 lands is good, which means we never have to worry about our mana. And we have 3 decent cards to play. Gutter Bones turn 1 in almost every game, I think, this video. Another Swamp's not a great draw, but Castle Lockman will help us find stuff hopefully soon. Oh, that's a cool swamp. The Amonkhet swamps. They're very... they pop off the board like you know what I mean? Like the art really like sticks out for sure. That's a cool swamp. Alright, gifted Ether Boy for our opponent. Another card I considered playing for the deck. Swapping out the Timerids maybe, but Timerid turned out to be really good. And we all know why. So we'll play the Overgrown tapped, gain the life, play the Knight, pass it up. Walk the plank. You never see that, ever. Well, no blocks. Well, let's see what our opponent wants to do. Are they going to let me get through? Yep. They could be playing that Cobra, the Hooded Blightfang. Another Walk the Plank, too. Be able to kill our spawn. Kinda sucks. Phyrexian Reclamation, another card you never see. Pretty good, though. Ayara? It's a pretty good one. So our opponent can sacrifice their creatures to draw cards, and we lose life and they gain life whenever another black creature enters the battlefield. So we can't block with the scrap heap. I'm okay with taking fold here. They have no creatures in their grave. A lot of lands in our hand. We have 2 creatures in our graveyard, so we're at a virtual 10. Yeah, might as well attack with the scrap heap. This might be the one that we lose, for sure. I mean, if we could just get like an obliterator down, maybe. Alright, so it's just all death touch creatures. Okay. Past the blockers. Go ahead and chump or trade with the Vampire of the Dire Moon. We'll go ahead and just exile both of those cards. Gain some life back. Could gain some more life, but I'm not going to exile our graveyard. Yeesh. I want to activate my castle, but I'm not going to be doing that anytime soon. And I guess we just play the Gutter Bones again. We can activate Timera and exile our spawn and our Knight of the Ebon Legion if we need to. So we're at a virtual 9 instead of 7. Depends. Twilight Prophet's really good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They need one more permanent to get the City's Blessing. And then that might just kill us. Well, I guess I'm just gonna exile these and just take the 2. No blocks. Anything but a land. I mean, Thoughtseize is okay, but not really. So we take 2 in the air regardless. We have to block all of this stuff. Ayara can also kill us if he has creatures in his hand. Yeah, I guess we just pass. Yep. It's all they're attacking with, huh? Well, I think we just go ahead and throw the Gutter Bones under the bus. Gutter Bones is the only creature in our graveyard that they have none. Oh, there's a spawn. Getting very close to emptying our hand so we can start using the castle a little bit more safely. And still, we might just be dead. I mean, the City's Blessing. Twilight Prophet's probably going to kill us. Alright, so we don't take any damage. Got very lucky. Opponent hits us with a good game. Yeah. Yeah. Good game, bud. Oof. We lost our streak to a Gary. No. Welcome back to the wrap up, everybody. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Today we went 4-1 with the Phyrexian Obliterator Fight Club, and I gotta say the deck was a lot of fun. This card is ridiculous. We definitely struggled to try to win that. Try to win that last game, but we just couldn't get there. Kept drawing into a bunch of lands, but the deck is super fun. It's very strong. It's very powerful right now in the format. Highly recommend giving this a shot. It will help you get a lot of ranks for sure if you pilot it correctly, and if you can get your land drops and do the things that the deck wants to do. This is a very good one for now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the deck and you want to try it out, check that link down below in the Ether Hub. Leave a like on today's video as well. Subscribe and hit the bell. If you're a viewer and you're not already subscribed, you might as well be a subscriber. I mean, if you watch my videos, come on. We all know you watch my videos, so let's hit that button. Come on. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Untap Your Go, and I'll see you in the next video.